Hello, Instagram family and Facebook family. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Business Strategies and Tips with Lady L. I am your host, Lady L, and I'm so glad you decided to join me today. I hope you had an awesome, awesome Mother's Day weekend that you enjoyed with friends and family. Oh, we had a blast this weekend, so I'm sure that you did. And for those that this can be a challenging time for those, and we want to be sensitive to that too. Uh, to people that this brings back the memories, but I want to encourage you that, like myself, when my mom and grandmom are home to be with the Lord, that's the first thing I console myself with, the fact that they're with Him. And the second, I just focus on the things that they taught me, the things that they shared with me, the example they set for me, and it eases that missing their presence just a little bit. But I also relish those that are with me. That's why we must cherish the people while they are with us. Give people their flowers while they are here, not strode out alongside of a big casket. Let's give them their flowers now where they can smell them, enjoy them, and just be happy to be with us and us with them. That they can impart more and we can impart into them. It's just so much that we can do just to connecting to people. So I encourage each and every one of us to do that, not just on Mother's Day, but check on our seniors, which we did this weekend, and that was awesome. So I just encourage everybody to do what you need to do to make sure that you're keeping your family close knitted as possible, especially in these challenging times. It will help. We have been talking about business credit, and we're going to be working through different categories involving business credit this week. And let's start with our question. On Saturday, we talked about the business credit score, the difference between the business credit score and the personal credit score. And we talked about the similarities and we talked about the differences. And some of the things that we talked about that are similarities is the things that can affect your credit score. Payment history, payment history, payment history, payment history. I can't stress enough how critically important it is to pay your balances on time, in full, every month, which means you have a credit plan, you have a credit strategy so that you know how you're spending or purchasing the things that you need to purchase for your business. You want your accounts receivable to exceed your accounts payable so that you can have a business surplus or profit. So there may be some purchases that you have to weigh in on how to prioritize them. Some things you may need right away, especially if you're a startup business. There's some things that is to your advantage to go ahead and get up front. Then you have your positions where, depending on where you are in your business, if you've been in business 3 to 5 or more years, then you can kind of smooth out and balance out how to position your business credit strategies so that you're able to pay on time. The reason why we have the challenges that we have in our personal and our business credit is that we don't pay on time. That's what lowers your score, business or personal. That's what creates problems because, again, what you are showing people at a glance who are looking to fund you, that you pay your bills on time. The amounts owed. We talked about the credit line, and say if you were given a $5,000 or $10,000 credit line, don't charge up $5,000, $10,000. Do it in increments, small increments that you can pay back. Purchase, pay back, purchase, pay back. That's how your score goes up. And it can go up rather quickly when they see, say within a quarter, sometimes a couple of months, when they see that you are on top of your business, they're more apt to say you are a good credit risk. And we're going to talk about risk because risk has gotten a negative rap, and I just want to put it in a more positive vein. Your credit history length. It is so important that when you are making your payment history on time and you're paying the amounts that owed, your credit history is critical, because the longer they can see that you hold on to a credit line or trade line, credit cards, uh, they can see, okay, they know how to be stable with the credit that they have been granted. So that's very, very important to keep your credit history. If it's positive, keep it on your credit report as long as they'll let it stay on there, because again, that's like a report card that helps you matriculate from one grade to the other. Your report card follows you from year to year. Same thing with our credit history. It's critical that if you're developing good credit, keep it. If there's a challenge with a particular card, don't cut it up, don't turn it in, don't close it. Just stick to your credit business strategy and just put the card in a safe. You never know when you need it. Being awarded credit is a privilege, not an obligation. So you want to treat it as such. Credit mix. When a lender or a funder looks at the different types of credit that you have some credit cards, you have some trade lines, you have worked a business loan successfully, and they're seeing that you are working with vendors that you're doing either net 15 or net 30, and they're looking and they're seeing that you have a good balance. You're not holding your whole business on one card. You may start out like that, but you're looking to, again, it's so important to have a credit strategy to make sure that you are positioning yourself where you have a balanced credit mix. New credit, that jumps your score almost exponentially. So new credit, you have to do your research. You have to read the fine print. There's going to be a boatload of mail that's coming to you. Oh, we can give you 20,000. Oh, we can give you 50 grand. Oh, we can give you this. We can give you that. Oh, we got 6 figures for you. Don't fall for all the hype. Read the fine print. Look at the APR. We'll talk about that later on this week. Look at the different things and match it to your credit strategy to see if it fits. Just like for my tax exempt 501c3s, you don't run after a grant just because it's money. Does it fit your vision, mission, and purpose? Your credit needs to take that same type of profile. Is this credit line going to be beneficial for my industry of my business? Is it going to be beneficial for the different things that I'm looking to do in my credit strategy? So that is really critically important. Just don't jump on a card just because you got something in the mail. Do your research. What should I avoid when establishing business credit? We've talked about some of these briefly, but I want them to be staples for you. Do not max out your cards. Do not max out your trade lines. Again, credit strategy. Work a strategy. Only making the minimum payments. Now, there's times where, depending on how you're working your cash flow and how your receivables are coming in, you may on occasion have to pay the minimum payments. But it's kind of a rule of thumb that if you're working your credit strategy and you've budgeted, just say $1,000 for this month, make sure that that's what you stick with, or that amount and under, and make sure that you can pay that. So if you have like a $5,000 or $10,000 limit on your card and you spend one, maybe 1.5 or 2, that's fine. But don't max out your card. And I know during the pandemic, a lot of businesses had to lean on their credit for the continued functioning of your business. Just readjust your business strategy. It's okay. And when you look at all of the other shows that we've had, visit my YouTube channel, Lady Verne, LadyVerne. We talked about how to situate your documentation so that when it was time to apply for the assistance that the government was giving out for businesses, your paperwork would have been Johnny on the spot ready. You could have probably grabbed a little bit of everything. So this is another opportunity while things are still kind of open a little bit to position that strategy so that you are, when the lean times come, when those 7 years of plenty turns into 7 years of famine in the days of Joseph, you're equipped and you're ready to move and make the necessary shifts. Missing payments or late payments. Before you even launch out into business credit, make sure that you know what your receivables, your potential receivables, your cash flow, because you do not want to miss a payment. Now this is where you can use your Excel spreadsheet to list your creditors. When is the billing date? When is the due date? Because there's a difference. And that's the difference between your payment being late or missing it. So this way, you know, your administrators or whoever you have working with you alongside of you, that you're making sure that you have a calendar at a glance where you know what creditor is due when, so that you know how to work your strategies as it pertains to your receivables and your cash flow. Not reviewing your billing statement. Let's take the elephant out of the room, the word bill. You're in business. You're going to have bills. It's the cost of doing business. That's how you need to look at bills. This is the cost of doing business. Take the negative connotation out. It's the cost of doing business. So if you have a financial strategy, you have a credit strategy, you must read your statements. Computers make errors. They're not totally perfect yet. Don't know if they'll ever be totally perfect. There's certain aspects of technology that is close to perfect or pretty much perfect, but they still have glitches. They still need servicing. And who services them? Human beings. So mistakes can be made. Read your statement. Look at your creditor statements from the previous month. Make sure that the balances carry over. And this is the benefit of paying on time, because every statement you should see your payments coming in on time so that you can see a true reading of your balances that are due on that credit statement or on that particular credit account. That is critically important. All of these things work together, that if you set up your strategy and your system, you can avoid the mishaps of business credit. And even these are the same principles that apply to your personal credit as well. Now, for those of you that have a business where you got some employees, you got some people working for you, you know, they may be on a managerial level. If you are going to give your employees or your managers an expense account, which is giving them a credit card, you need to make sure that you have in writing, no he said, she said, in writing, that and that there it's read by the employee, not just signed off saying they read it, but no. Test them to see if they've read it by asking certain questions that's on your stipulations and your procedures, and understanding how this credit card works, what it's used for, what it's not used for. It's not used for you buying your baby diapers, okay? It's an employee, it's a business credit card that you have been given the privilege by your boss. Now, depending on what those written stipulations and procedures are, we understand life does happen, but you need to communicate with the owner of that card, because your company is liable for that card. They don't want to hear, well, I gave it to my employee, and no, your name is on the account, period. And we can talk about some other things that can kind of switch up some stuff to let them be responsible, but from a legal perspective, you are responsible. They issued your company the card. Who you gave it to, that's between you and that person you gave it to. So you have to make sure that things are in writing, that it's clear and concise, that all questions are answered, that all understanding is in place. canceling a card prematurely. I don't recommend canceling a card or a line of credit at all. And I will tell you why. Again, it goes back to payment history, credit history length, the credit mix. It goes back to those things that you're building. So again, when you have a credit strategy in place, you are looking at, okay, maybe we need to put this particular credit account in the safe. Let's not use it for a while. Let's make sure that we are doing what we need to do. If there's a situation where the service of that card is not meeting your needs, then I would highly recommend that you refer to a specialist on that decision before you make that decision, because you need to look at your credit report, see where it sits on your credit report, and see how it will affect you if you were to cancel that card. But overall, it's not a good recommendation to cancel a card. Now, there's some things that you can do to build good business credit, a good business credit portfolio, a good business credit history. Understand what the credit score is. As we forestated on Saturday, personal business credit score is totally different than your business credit score. So make sure that you understand the portions of the score, what each part of them represents in your personal and your business, so that you are clear on, again, your credit building strategy on how you're going to increase that score. Again, pay your bills on time, keep your credit balances low, start off with the credit card, even if you've been in business a good minute, but you're just really starting to launch out into business credit. Start with the credit card. If you want to, take baby steps, start with a secure business credit card. Work your way up. I'd say within about 2 to 3 months of paying on time, not charging up your whole limit, and things of that nature, you're going to be more apt to be given an increase in your credit score and in your credit limits. So that will help you to migrate into other areas of business credit. Don't apply for more cards than you need or can afford to handle, especially if you are brand new to the business credit world. Please, I can't stress that enough. Have a credit strategy so that you know when to apply for what cards when, for what purposes, to help your business operations flow smoothly, as well as your financial side of your business to flow positively. Keep an eye on your credit report. Again, as I forestated, mistakes happen. You have different types of creditors and lenders that do their reporting to the credit bureaus, and we're going to talk about that in some more detail tomorrow. Please read your report. We got them online now, so you can pretty much check them every day, depending on what service you're using, that you can check it. Most of the credit bureaus, you pay a monthly fee. You have access to it 24/7, 365. But if you don't want to do that, keeping your business expenses low, you need to look at your report weekly. You definitely need to look at it monthly to assist you in your financial portfolio. You definitely need to analyze your credit reports on a quarterly basis to go along with your financial reporting. So if there's any tweaking you need to do, we are in the beginning or the middle, really, of our second quarter of the year already. So it is imperative that you begin to put these things in place. Again, I wanted to address risk. When you decide to open a business, you've already said, I'm going to take a level of risk. And it's not a low level of risk. It's either a mid-level of risk or a high level of risk, because you're putting yourself out there. You're putting yourself out there as far as your public relations, your social media. So in all of these strategies that you're operating, you are taking risks. Risk is a good thing. If you're going to make an impact in your community or in your industry with your business, you've already accepted the assignment that I am going to take risks. You cannot come into business with your feelings. You have to come into business with a mental understanding that this is how this must be done. And you have to be willing to take the risks. On all of your business credit, read all of the fine print. Take the time to read it and read all of it. We have a saying in our LCA and our Man in Exchange group, in all thy getting, get an understanding. You know, it's one thing to acquire things, but do you understand what you're acquiring? Are you able to articulate it, be able to regurgitate it, which that's not a very good word, but that's the only word that's coming to my mind right now, to fellow employees, those that are working alongside of you. You need to make sure that everybody is on the same page, whatever it is you're going to do, especially when it comes to the financial parts of your business. With that being said, thank you so much for joining me today on Business Strategies and Tips with Lady L. Any of the previous recordings and even the playback of this one, you can go to my YouTube channel, Lady Verne, LadyVerne. Feel free to visit my website, Success Beyond Strategies, that's STRATEGZ.com, and leave your information on the caption page. Any questions, any concerns, I will be more than happy to address them for you, because my goal is to make sure that you have a profitable, successful business, and making sure that you have strategies and plans in place to be that successful business for your community and your industry. Bye-bye for now. See you tomorrow. Same time, same station.